Once upon a time in the village of Eluya, nestled amidst rolling hills and fertile plains, lived two brothers named Chinedu and Emeka. Born into the wealthy Okafor family, Chinedu and Emeka were the apple of their parents' eye from the moment they were born. Mr. and Mrs. Okafor showered them with every luxury imaginable, spoiling them beyond reason. Little did the villagers know, behind their charming smiles and elegant attire, Chinedu and Emeka were far from the model students or responsible young men they appeared to be. In their early years, school was a mere inconvenience to the twins. They saw it as a place to socialize rather than study. Chinedu and Emeka were notorious for their lack of academic prowess. They struggled to grasp even the simplest of concepts and had a knack for finding trouble wherever they went. During exams, their ineptitude became glaringly obvious. Chinedu, sitting at the back of the classroom, would sneak glances at his classmates' papers, hoping to catch a glimpse of an answer or two. Emeka, on the other hand, would discreetly nudge his neighbor, pretending to be asking for an eraser while slyly trying to pick at their answers. One particularly memorable exam day, Chinedu was caught red-handed by their strict teacher, Mr. Johnson. As Mr. Johnson prowled the aisles, he noticed Chinedu's furtive glances and suspicious movements.
Chinedu Okafor.
Mr. Johnson bellowed, causing Chinedu to jump in his seat.
What do you think you're doing?
Chinedu tried to play innocent, his cheeks flushing crimson.
Nothing, sir. Just, stretching my neck.
The entire class erupted in suppressed laughter as Mr. Johnson fixed Chinedu with a stern glare.
I saw you trying to copy answers, Chinedu. Cheating will get you nowhere.
Emeka, sensing trouble, attempted to distract the teacher by coughing loudly.
Ahem, sir, I think I might have swallowed a fly.
Mr. Johnson shot Emeka a withering look before turning back to Chinedu.
Both of you, to the principal's office after the exam. This behavior is unacceptable.
Defeated, Chinedu and Emeka slumped in their seats, muttering under their breath as they finished the exam with dismal results. Their attempts at cheating had backfired spectacularly, earning them notoriety among their peers and a stern lecture from the principal. Despite their academic failures, Chinedu and Emeka remained unfazed. They believed that their family's wealth and influence would shield them from any consequences. Their parents, ever indulgent, hired private tutors and even attempted to bribe teachers to improve their grades, further inflating the twins' egos. As they grew older, Chinedu and Emeka's mischievous antics continued to entertain and exasperate the villagers of Eluya. Their escapades became legendary, from painting the village elder's prized cow with colorful stripes to causing a ruckus during the annual harvest festival. Yet, amidst their antics and failed attempts at academic success, Chinedu and Emeka managed to charm their way through life. Their charismatic smiles and silver tongues won them favor with the village elders and admiration from young maidens dreaming of a life of luxury. It was during one such village gathering, the annual Yam Festival, that Chinedu and Emeka's paths crossed with Amara and Kemi. Amara, with her gentle grace and radiant smile, caught Chinedu's eye immediately. Kemi, with her quick wit and kind heart, drew Emeka's attention. As they walked through the festival, Chinedu and Emeka tried to impress the girls with their wit. Chinedu pointed to a particularly large yam and said,
You know, I once grew a yam even bigger than this one. It was so big, we had to use a cart to bring it home.
Kemi laughed. Oh really? How big was it, exactly? Chinedu grinned.
Let's just say it could have fed the entire village for a week.
Emeka, not wanting to be outdone, added,
And I once caught a fish so big, it nearly pulled me into the river.
Amara giggled. A fish that big? Are you sure you weren't just dreaming? The conversation was light-hearted, and the girls found themselves charmed by the twins' playful banter. Over the next few weeks, Chinedu and Emeka courted Amara and Kemi with grand gestures and sweet words, hiding their true nature behind a veneer of charm and humility.
You are the light that brightens my day, Amara.
Chinedu would say, holding her hand gently.
I promise to make you the happiest woman in Eluya.
Emeka was equally persuasive.
Kemi, your smile is like the first light of dawn. I cannot imagine my life without you by my side.
Amara and Kemi, swept up in the romance and dazzled by the twins' attention, eagerly accepted their proposals. The village rejoiced at the double engagement, celebrating the union of two influential families with feasts, dances, and endless festivities. Amidst the whirlwind of wedding preparations, Amara and Kemi found themselves welcomed into the luxurious embrace of the Okafor mansion. The grand estate, with its sprawling gardens and opulent rooms, seemed like a fairy tale come true. For the first few days, Chinedu and Emeka treated their brides-to-be with genuine kindness and affection. They took them on tours of the mansion, shared their dreams for the future, and promised a life of comfort and happiness. But as the excitement of the wedding day faded, cracks began to appear in the facade of happiness. Chinedu's short temper flared over minor inconveniences, such as a meal not being to his liking or a servant being too slow to respond to his commands.
Amara, my love,
Chinedu would say with a forced smile turning into a frown.
Must I remind you again how to serve my food properly? This is simply unacceptable.
Amara's heart sank, her hands trembling as she tried to keep composure. I apologize, Chinedu. I will make sure it's better next time. Meanwhile, Emeka's behavior towards Kemi became increasingly critical. He would mock her efforts in the kitchen, belittling her for not meeting his exacting standards.
Kemi, my dear,
Emeka would sigh dramatically, pushing his plate away.
I expected a meal fit for a king, not this mediocrity.
Kemi's eyes welled up with tears, her voice quivering. I'm sorry, Emeka. I'll try harder. The twins' demands grew more unreasonable with each passing day. They expected their brides to anticipate their every need, serve them flawlessly, and uphold their image of perfection at all times. Amara and Kemi found themselves walking on eggshells, living in constant fear of displeasing their husbands. One scorching afternoon, Chinedu arbitrarily ordered Amara to stand in the blazing sun for hours without explanation, leaving her with blistering burns and intense dehydration. Meanwhile, Emeka's punishment for Kemi for forgetting to wash his feet was ruthless beatings, causing her physical and emotional anguish daily. The twins' cruelty knew no bounds. In their moments of solitude, Amara and Kemi sought solace in each other's company. They confided in Olu, a sympathetic servant who had witnessed the twins' volatile temperament firsthand.
Madam Amara, Madam Kemi,
Olu whispered one evening in the dimly lit kitchen.
You must be cautious. Master Chinedu and Master Emeka are not as they appear. Many of us have suffered under their tyranny.
Amara's eyes widened with shock. What do you mean, Olu? What have they done? Olu hesitated, glancing around to ensure they were alone.
Madam Amara, I have seen Master Chinedu force you to stand in the scorching sun for hours without reason, while Master Emeka beats Madam Kemi mercilessly every day if she forgets to wash his feet. Their cruelty knows no bounds.
Amara and Kemi exchanged horrified glances, their worst fears confirmed. They knew they had to escape, but they needed a plan. Days turned into nights as they carefully devised their strategy. They gathered evidence of the twins' abuses, including torn pages from the journals detailing mistreatment of servants and cover-ups of deaths. They knew their lives depended on exposing the truth. One fateful night, as they prepared to make their daring escape, disaster struck. Chinedu stumbled upon their plans, a crumpled piece of paper catching his eye. His fury knew no bounds as he stormed into the room where Emeka was brooding.
Emeka, look at this.
Chinedu hissed, thrusting the paper into his brother's hands.
Our wives dare to defy us. They plan to escape.
Emeka's eyes narrowed with rage as he read the damning evidence.
How dare they betray us like this? We must teach them a lesson they will never forget.
In a cruel twist of fate, Chinedu and Emeka locked Amara and Kemi in a dark, damp cellar. They subjected them to days of beatings and starvation, refusing them even the basic necessities. By the time they were rescued, Amara and Kemi had lost weight, their spirits broken but their determination to seek justice undiminished. The village, growing concerned over the sudden absence of Amara and Kemi, began to notice their prolonged absence from social gatherings and events. When inquiries yielded no satisfactory answers from the Okafor family, the villagers' worry turned into suspicion. Led by the village elder, a group of concerned citizens marched to the gates of the Okafor mansion, demanding to see the missing brides. Their persistence paid off when they were met with silence from within the mansion. The usually bustling estate seemed eerily quiet, heightening their suspicions. Sensing something amiss, the villagers called out louder, demanding the Okafor family provide answers. Inside the mansion, Chinedu and Emeka had grown overconfident in their ability to silence their captives. However, the determined voices of the villagers outside began to chip away at their facade of control. As the clamor grew louder, their fear of exposure intensified. Unable to ignore the uproar outside, one of the servants, sympathetic to Amara and Kemi's plight, discreetly contacted the village elder. He relayed their suspicions and the disturbing rumors circulating among the household staff. The elder wasted no time in mobilizing the villagers for action. The once bustling gates of the Okafor mansion now stood as a barrier between the twins and the villagers demanding justice. The crowd's chants for answers echoed through the estate, reverberating in the ears of Chinedu and Emeka, who now realized their carefully crafted facade was crumbling. Faced with mounting pressure and the imminent threat of exposure, Chinedu and Emeka made a critical error. In a desperate attempt to maintain control, they ventured into the cellar where they had imprisoned Amara and Kemi. Their plan was to silence the brides once and for all, fearing the repercussions of their crimes being exposed. As they approached the cellar door with menacing intent, they were startled by the sudden appearance of the village elder and a contingent of determined villagers. The elder's presence, along with the crowd behind him, struck fear into Chinedu and Emeka's hearts. They were outnumbered and cornered, their reign of terror coming to a swift and decisive end. The elder demanded the immediate release of Amara and Kemi, his voice resonating with authority and justice. Behind him, the villagers stood united in solidarity, their expressions ranging from anger to concern for the missing brides. Realizing they had no choice, Chinedu and Emeka reluctantly unlocked the cellar door under the watchful eyes of the villagers. The sight that greeted them inside was heartbreaking. Amara and Kemi, emaciated and bruised, but with a flicker of hope reignited in their eyes at the sight of their rescuers. With utmost care and urgency, the villagers helped Amara and Kemi out of their dark prison, embracing them with words of comfort and reassurance. The twins' attempt to silence them had failed, and their crimes were now exposed for all to see. The elder wasted no time in escorting Amara and Kemi to safety, ensuring they received immediate medical attention and support. The villagers, outraged by the twins' actions, swiftly mobilized to confront the Okafor family's reign of terror. The next morning, the once prosperous village of Eluya awoke to the sight of police vehicles outside the Okafor mansion. Murmurs of shock and disbelief spread through the crowd as officers entered the once grand estate. "They are arresting the Okafors," someone whispered, eyes wide with horror. "Surely it cannot be true," another murmured, shaking their head in disbelief. Inside the mansion, the police uncovered a web of deceit and cruelty. The torn pages and testimonies from the servants painted a damning picture of Chinedu and Emeka's atrocities. The twins and their parents were arrested, their wealth and influence crumbling in the face of undeniable truth. The village elder decreed that Chinedu and Emeka would be banished from Eluya forever, their names forever tarnished by their crimes. Mr. and Mrs. Okafor, devastated by their son's actions, offered restitution to Amara and Kemi as a small gesture of remorse. Amara and Kemi, though scarred by their ordeal, emerged as beacons of resilience and courage. They found strength in their community, rebuilding their lives with newfound determination. Their story echoed through the village, a cautionary tale of the dangers of unchecked power and the enduring spirit of those who seek justice. And so, the once prosperous village of Eluya learned a valuable lesson about the true meaning of wealth, not in material riches, but in compassion, integrity, and the strength to stand against injustice. Amara and Kemi became symbols of hope and bravery, their journey a testament to the power of resilience and the enduring spirit of those who seek justice in the face of adversity. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey through the village of Eluya. Amara and Kemi's story of resilience against injustice reminds us of the true meaning of wealth, compassion, and integrity. If you were moved by their journey, please subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Have you or someone you know experienced something similar? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Hit the like button, share with your friends, and join our community by clicking the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and remember, every act of kindness can change lives. See you next time.